All right, guys, so we previously went over different items we could use just around our house as a location to go to for the command place. One of these items I mentioned was the front doormat. So Daisy's never associated this with a place location. So today I'm going to show you kind of how we're going to use the leash, a little bit of luring, and her understanding this is the location when I say place that I like her to go to. So the command place, all it is a designated spot that the dog can go to when we say place. And this can be multiple spots for the dog. As long as the dog understands that that location has been used for the command place, when we walk over to it and direct the dog towards it, the dog fully understands that is the place we are wanting them to go to hold a location until we ask for another follow-up. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how I would introduce this new location to Daisy and make it very transparent to her. This is just another location I like her to go to when I say the command place. The most important thing for you guys to watch for when I'm doing this, at first I am not using any verbals. All I'm going to do is mark the behavior and continue marking the behavior until I can anticipate her doing the behavior, then I can put a command to it. All right, the dog will start to associate the command with the behavior, but the first thing that we must do is just to get them to understand the behavior. All right, so let's do that. Yes. Yes. I'm going to bring the dog to a standstill, just a little bit of leash pressure. I'm going to guide the dog to the location, possibly with a lure. Yes. Mark the behavior when she gets on it and repeat. With some of the dogs, I won't need to give them a lure if they're going to offer the behavior of going to this location on their own, such as Daisy's going to do. Yes. And then we're going to break the dog from it. We're going to wheel ourselves back around. Yes. And all we're doing is marking the behavior of her getting all four paws on the place pad. Again, this is more of a free shaping. Yes. What I mean by free shaping is all we're doing is taking a picture of the behavior that we're looking for, of getting on the mat and just marking it with a simple yes. All right, so again, we're just going to let the dog, yes, go to the mat on their own if they're willing to do that. If not, we can guide the dog with what we call a lure, holding a treat, guiding the dog, yes. Very methodically, all right? So we're not making her chase the treat. She's pushing into my hand, yes. Marking it, as soon as I say yes, I simply let go of the treat. So again, what that would look like, treat in my hand, she already knows. Treat in my hand here. Getting the dog pushing, licking, yes. Getting her on the mat, yes. Reinforcing with a couple, yes. And then breaking her. Good girl. Yes. Now, I know the dog is going to offer the behavior of going to the mat. You guys can see that. You guys can anticipate it just as much as she can. So as soon as she's giving me that behavior, like I know she's not going to sit here, she's going to go straight to the mat, I'm going to start getting ahead of her and asking for the command of place. So we're going to start naming this behavior. All right, so let's show you what that looks like. Place. Yes. Place. Yes. Again, we're doing this on leash just in case the dog needs a little bit of help. Yes. With guidance to the location. If the dog is finicky with going there, you want to use a higher value reward, maybe something the dog's never had before, a piece of meat, deli meat, cheese, So you can up the value of going there and get them their mind off this object that might be new and scary to them. But again, the leash, all that is designed to do is to get them to not run away from me, so I can control the dog. We're not dragging them to place. This is not a behavior that we want to force. This is a behavior that we want them to work with us, and we're going to just capture the behavior by marking with a yes and giving them a reward for it by doing what we want them to do, is getting on this location. So again, I can't stress enough, this is not something that we're going to force the dog into by dragging them onto place. All we're going to simply do is take out our lure, our higher value reward, might be a piece of meat or something. Again, I wouldn't feed the dog in the morning, so the dog's very hungry coming into this training session. We're giving them the reward or the paycheck, whatever you want to call it, and we're luring them onto the mat, yes, and marking the behavior. It's very simple. Again, this is not something that wants to be forced. When we start forcing things with dogs, it becomes not a fun activity. I don't want this to be a negative for the dog. This is something that we're going to utilize in obedience, and it's very useful later on in obedience work when we get it mastered. All right, so slow and steady always wins the race when it comes to dog training. All right, so you want constant reps with being fun, and then it becomes muscle memory to them, and then over time we can just tell them to go place and they will do it willingly, and they'll actually have fun doing it. All right, I don't want this to be a punishment area. Break.